Hey everybody, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. TammyTalks here. Let's go ahead and get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 3. The tea is served. If you are brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbsing up the video, and then hopping into the comment section so we can talk about it, y'all. So the episode starts off with we see Kenya. She's out looking for a space to have Brooklyn's third birthday party. She wants to have this like extravagant tea party because Brooklyn likes having like little tea parties with her right now. So she lists everything that she wants out, and the party planner or the event planner tells her it might be around $10,000 or $15,000. Kenya immediately said, "Well, I'm going through a divorce. I don't know what her dad is going to be able to help or what he's going to be willing to contribute, but that should be fine. Closer to 10 would be better because I do want to pay, to put her in college coming up at some point. I think $10,000 is a waste for a 3-year-old's birthday party. I do. I get that, Kenya can afford it, and that's what the rich people do. But $10,000, Brooklyn is not going to remember that party. Brooklyn is not going to remember that party. But go. I mean, this is Kenya's only child, her miracle baby. So go all out. Go off with it. So we see Shereé. Shereé is going to be working out. Marlo is going to be coming to work out with her. Marlo asked her what's been up since they were hating on her event. Marlo was going to run that into the ground. Marlo is going to run that into the ground about them asking the questions and having the comments about her event. So Shereé said, you know what, it was a good concept, but you have a very niche clientele, which is true. Kenya said that she wants to keep it that way because she wants to start doing stylings and being like a costumer for like Tyler Perry, which would actually be very, very dope. Tyler Perry, I feel like the clothes on his show for the most part, on his shows for the most part are good. It's really the hair. It's really the hair that sends us up, and has everybody going crazy when it comes to Tyler Perry. So Shereé said that she mentions that her son actually works for Tyler Perry Studios. I didn't catch what she said he did, but her son does work for him now. So Marlo asked her for some advice on raising a boy. Marlo, I feel like this has to just be like a storyline because Marlo can't be this like hard up or confused or whatever when it comes to like raising those boys, because it seems like she's doing a good job. So Shereé tells her, everybody parents differently, which is true. My parents were different than like my aunt and uncle, different than like the people across the street. Like everybody is going to parent differently. You just have to do what works best for you and your child and your situation and your family. um but Marlo tells her, you look like, I'm sorry, Shereé tells her, I mean, from the outside looking in, you're doing a good job. Like, you look like you're doing a really good job with those boys. So, kind of like don't trip about what's going on. So Marlo said that she wants to get into acting, so she's been taking some acting classes, I think, with one of her nephews. And then Marlo said that quiet as is kept, she is an actress, honey. She just doesn't yap about it like everybody else. And she tells us to check her IDMB page. So you're an actress and you don't know IMDb? And then we have this montage of at least 3 or 4 attempts at Marlo trying to get it, and she can't. But okay. And I think we've seen Marlo in some of those like Atlanta produced shows. Um, what was it? Games People Play that comes on BT. I think she's been in there. She's been in. She was on something else. Is that Janet Jackson? That is Janet. She was on something else as well. Like Marlo's been in a couple little things. Would I call Marlo an actress? I don't know if I would go that far. So Marlo brings up how Kandi said that Shereé and Drew not only share an assistant, but that Shereé is not paying said assistant. So now Shereé is mad that she knows Kandi. She has a relationship with Kandi. She feels that Kandi should have come and said something to her herself instead of like going around and talking to everybody else about it. So Shereé mentions that yeah, Kenya came over and Kenya mentioned it to her as well. Um, and then they talked about Le Archive. And then it turns into Marlo shading Kenya for how she just sent out a text inviting them to Brooklyn's party when, Marlo said, or Marlo heard that, Kenya was talking about how she did her invitations with having that girl show up with the slow blinking, holding the screen like this to like play the video recording. I think the text message is fine. Could it have been a little more extravagant? Yeah. If you're gonna spend $10,000, you might as well have a courier go ahead and deliver the invitations personally to everybody. But okay. So then we have Kandi. Kandi is talking to, I believe that was her manager. And she's talking about a show that she's working on, how she wants to send out gift boxes to different influencers. And then her manager tells her, well, then we need to send something to the 200 members of the Tony voting process. Like, if we're going to do it, let's, like, make sure we get it done. Kandi wants to EGOT, she said at some point. She just needs the E, the O, and the T. And I said, Kandi, I see nothing wrong with people wanting the EGOT, but when most people bring it up, they have at least two of the letters and working on the third. But you do have a Grammy, and that's more than a lot of people can say. So then Todd walks in, and Todd kind of tells the manager that Kandi is being kind of stretched thin. He's feeling neglected. Todd said that their sex life is the worst. She's being stretched very, very thin at this point. So Todd said Todd apparently has a show coming out, and he didn't want Kandi to produce it. He just wanted Kandi to write the theme song to it. And Kandi was like, it's kind of odd that you feel the way when I do things when you got this whole show and you made a point to tell me that you don't want me to be the producer. I can just do a theme song. Todd said that they do everything like together. They do everything together. They're always working on everything. And this is one of the first things that is going to be actually just his. So Kandi said that she thinks that Todd feels resentful because her name always gets brought up when the two of them are doing things together. And he doesn't always get the credit that he feels he deserves or that he just deserves in general. But see, that's kind of what happens when you are somebody that is married to you're married to a bigger name. Todd is married to Kandi from Escape. And that's something that he, I feel like should kind of be passed and accepted at this point. So it's kind of odd that he's even, still tripping about that. So then we have Drew. Drew was out shopping for Brooklyn's birthday present with that same annoying assistant, Anthony. And she said that she's happy she's in a good place with Kenya, so she's going to make sure she gets, an amazing gift for Brooklyn. So she then brings up how Shereé met her and was kind of like, yeah, I've heard so much about you, in a very shady tone. And the assistant then talks about how Shereé doesn't pay people, how Shereé has never paid him, how Shereé owes a friend of his $25,000 for a venue, and how he would never work for Shereé until she pays what she owes him. Drew would say, oh, I thought she just didn't pay you enough, but you're saying she didn't pay at all. So Drew is taking this rumor, fanning the flames, making it worse than it has to be, because that this man is super theatrical. You know that this man seemingly is always putting on. So then we get a phone call from Sanya, who calls her crying. We get a phone call from Sanya, who calls her crying. She got in a car accident. So a semi-truck, an 18-wheeler, kind of sideswiped. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. A semi-truck sideswiped her and started to drag the truck down the street. So she needs Drew to come pick her up because Ross is out of town. Produce scenes like these annoy me because it's like, Sanya, you said your mother, your father, your sister, and your brother in law all live in that house. I'm sure they have a producer or two. They were clearly, it looked like they were clearly filming, and you thought to call Drew? Drew is your phone call? Okay. 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 So Drew gets there and goes to kind of pick her up, and they have this moment where, she's still shaking up. We see the car is messed up, but then they have to go pick up Deucey probably from school or something like that. So then we have a scene with Sanya and Ross, and they own a chauffeur service. So after Ross retired, they bought into the service, and because of COVID, during the pandemic, they lost a lot of help. So as a result, they are like currently working to get to rebuild and get new drivers in. So Ross was like going back to help. He said he did some driving. He was like actually washing the trucks and stuff like that. So, or washing the cars and stuff like that. So it just kind of shows them a little bit more about their life. So we get to the meat of the show, all right? So Brooklyn's Tea Party. People are over an hour late and Kenya's disappointed. It's the child's birthday party, so I'm kind of shocked too as to why people are so late. But no one comes to a birthday party on time. So Shereé gets there first. She says she's ready to talk to Drew. Kenya wants her to hold off because this is Brooklyn's event. Drew then showed up in the dress that is the exact same dress that Kenya wore to Brooklyn's Barbie birthday party a couple of years ago. It's just now white when Kenya's was pink. And it's like, Drew, what's going on? What are we doing? Drew does a lot of weird stuff, y'all, that it kind of makes you wonder, like, is she doing this stuff on purpose? Like, does she think wearing the same dress that Kenya has wore, did she think that would, like, get her cool points or brownie points? It was just very odd. Very, 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 very odd. So Drew tells Sanya that it has been a lot going on with her and Ralph recently. So we get a black and white flashback where I guess Ralph is packing for California, but Drew found a receipt in his pants pocket where he ordered 2 Long Islands. And she's like, so you ordered 2 Long Islands, who are you out with? He said it was just him. Drew gets ready to cry. I don't know if Drew's storyline is real or fake, but if it is real and you are having all these red flags just being thrown at your face and you are choosing to stay there, girl, whatever. So Kenya is walking around and giving people like an index card and telling them to write down the best tea that they know right now. And everybody is like, at the baby's party? Like, why are you doing this here? Then we see little Deuce, who is running Sanya ragged, okay? That little boy don't want to be there. He don't want to play with the other kids. He don't want to dress up. He wants to sit up under his mom. And I was like, where's Ace? He don't want to go play with Ace because Ace is there. But Sanya she was stressed at that party. Stressed. So the first game that they're playing is a Brooklyn trivia game. So you have to guess Brooklyn's middle name, which is Doris, her first word, which was neighborhood, and then the month that Brooklyn walked, and she was 14 months old when she walked. So then it comes time for the shady tea game, and everybody is like, why are we playing this? So the first one was that Maniata, who is Neil's ex-wife, says that she's all natural, but she's really had work done. She said, absolutely, I had my boobs done. I talked about it in my book, so it's kind of whatever. Kandi pulls a card that says Kandi sucks dick in locker rooms. Imagine not only pulling the card that says, imagine that only that card gets pulled, but you're the one pulling it. Y'all, I hollered because what? So Kandi immediately is like, who wrote this? Nobody is owning up to it. So in the confessional, Shereé says she didn't write it, but she wouldn't be surprised if it's true because Kandi sucks dick everywhere, so she don't know why she's offended. And like they are really Kandi is like really still trying to figure out who did it, and Kenya is like, we don't have time for this. Everything's already pushed back because you were late. Kenya, you were not waiting on Kandi to start that birthday party. You were not. Let's not even do that. Let's stop. So then Kenya puts out one that says, I couldn't order on the archive because the site was empty. Marlo said, oh, yeah, the site is empty. That's because when you want to order something, you're supposed to email us. We then send you a questionnaire, and based off your questionnaire, we, decipher and decide if we want to even mess with you. So then Marlo said that she was just taken aback when, Kenya said she was taken aback when Marlo said that she was using Lisa Ray's Range Rover when she was out here driving a used Rolls Royce. Marlo said absolutely not because I bought that car brand new off the lot. Has Lisa Ray said anything? We know that Lisa Ray is on Foxo on that show. Like, has Lisa Ray said anything? Because, like, now I want to know. Is it true? Was Kenya using your car? If she was, okay. If she wasn't, okay. But, like, inquiring minds want to know. So then Kenya reads, someone at this table doesn't pay their assistant. Drew owns up to it right away and said that she has tried to talk to Shereé at the archive event, but they didn't get a chance to. So Drew said that she heard from Anthony that she doesn't pay. Shereé is very upset about that because she said, if that's not true. So Drew would say, well, I don't know if it's true or not. So Shereé makes a very good point. If you don't know if it's true or not, why are you spreading it? Why are you spreading it? So Shereé then goes on to say that this is how you should have come to me directly instead of going to Kandi. Because then Kandi told Kenya. Then Kandi told Marlo. Then Kandi told who else ever. So now Kandi is like, dang, how I even get involved in this? Kandi, because you was the one that went around telling everybody. You know what you did. So Shereé said that she had no reason to pay Anthony because he was never her assistant. Because he was never her assistant, why would I be paying him? So Drew is like trying to talk over her. Shereé tells her, why don't you shut the F up so that she can talk? And everybody is like, what is going on? So then some other woman at the table, I didn't catch who she was, she says, isn't that the same assistant that told you that her husband was gay? Talking about Ralph. And everybody is like, whoa. whoa. Flag, time out. Because, like, this went from being, like, what Kenya's calling fun shade to being, like, a whole different level. So now Drew is upset. And it's like, don't be talking about my husband. And Drew kind of, like, goes in on the woman. The woman gets offended. Now, I understand why Drew got so amped up. But it's also like, if Drew would have heard what the woman said, she would have understood what the woman was trying to do. But I also feel like that's something that woman should have taken Drew to the side and talked to her about. Because this is exactly what we're talking about at the table, right? If you know something about me, you heard a rumor about me, come and tell me. Don't go around and tell everybody else. And that's where the issue got kind of messy. So then this white lady that is there, one of Kenya's friends, that is there with her daughter, is pissed and said, there are kids here. This is a kid's birthday party. So she goes and grabs her daughter, grabs her child and leaves. And Marlo said, Kenya, stop inviting your white friends that don't get it. Now, the white lady that was sitting next to Marlo was yucking it up. She was sitting there like, yeah, look at this. Marlo is talking to this lady like, look how she acting. No, but you cool. Giving a little kid a high five and everything. Hilarious. Because that white, like the white lady that stayed, said she ain't going nowhere. She said, we on TV. I already watch y'all. I want to see what's going to happen before I get to watch the episode. I ain't going nowhere. So Kenya, if talks to the lady, tells her, kind of like, I know, I'm sorry, whatever. Kenya, don't be embarrassed because this wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have had this messy ass game. No part of this game should have been played at this party. This is silly. So Kenya wants them to keep their voices down. She then tells Drew, "You're so turned up, you missed what the woman was saying." The woman was saying, and just kind of letting you know how messy that Anthony is. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? So she's like, I'm just trying to tell you. She was just trying to tell you how messy Anthony is. And it kind of shows that he spreads rumors. And tells her, I think you need to apologize to the lady. And Drew is like, well, my reaction is real because I don't bring my husband into it. And everybody is like, yeah, that's not what she was doing. Not what she was doing at all. So then Drew was like, I hear what you're saying. I apologize. Anthony will be put on probation. Kandi was like, probation? Girl, he's talking about your man. He's the one that said that he was gay. And Drew was like, I didn't hear that part. And it's like, Drew, what's going on, sweets? What's wrong, babe? Like, what's not percolating up here? Something's not right up here because Drew cannot be this dissy. So then Drew was saying that, okay, so then if I should have told you, Shereé, that Anthony said that you don't pay people, then maybe you should have told me what Anthony said about my husband. And everybody was like, and I was like, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartedly agree with what Drew was saying. If Shereé was that upset about being pegged if somebody doesn't pay, why wouldn't you go to Drew when this man is literally saying that her husband is gay? I was on Drew's side with that. I felt that, to be real. So as they're all leaving, they're all standing around in a circle, and Marlo says that, they can laugh about her event. Let it go, Marlo. That they can laugh about her event, then they can laugh about this and move past this. And Drew is not really receiving this information well. Drew is still stuck on the fact that Shereé should have told her what Anthony was saying about her husband. And I agree. Shereé now wants to have a conversation with Kandi because she feels that her and Kandi have a relationship. Her and Kandi know each other, and she's like offended. She's upset that Kandi is like going around kind of spreading this rumor when she should have come and talked to her about it first. And then all of a sudden it turns into Drew like putting her hands in Shereé's face, and everybody is like, no. Like, she will hit you. And Drew is like, I can fight soon. It's like, it's like, Drew. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. And I will catch you guys in the next one.